I don't like crystals. I don't like old people.
Catfish is like.
You know what I mean, but how many catfish is
The
this?
rich old people.
Really?
Okay.
Use
I don't
machine?
have the energy.
I don't lose gula unless they're just better than
I win my viewers.
You know what I'm saying? Not better.
Are you guys ready?
The gooch. No,
Unless they're a gulag Gary.
I don't know.
no.
And then I
Even
think
if I did get hired at McDonald's, they'd call you like half an hour. Yeah, half an
Dang,
hour.
I only go like 5 times in a day. So I would like 7.
We almost won. Oh, you should run on.
Dude,
Brady's
Brady's back must have hurt. Like, so bad. Brady like 10 kills.
Me and you just land somewhere, get a bunch of loot, and get a load up. Play up your shit.
Literally makes me want
We
to
got
shoot myself.
2 teams.
If we didn't have
This truck's
if we had LeBron over Cade yesterday, we went.
I cannot believe
Kids, man.
he's not
I
that
think it
bad,
would be
but
like
Ethan is just like
So
so much. Hard to
It was definitely not.
I've been going off.
Okay, you guys,
My sniper, private, like,
sit in your desk
all
properly,
four,
please.
AX-50. That's
Right.
right.
Aaron,
I showed him that.
would you sit in your desk?
I did it way before you.
I'm the best.
I'm looking.
No, no.
No, and I was actually. I switched to AR and
Yeah.
AR.
Okay, guys, shh, quiet, please.
No, you didn't show me that because I saw it on a YouTube video.
I might have to stop too. On my way to break out.
Oh.
Guys,
I'm about to freak out. It's so cold. Wait, what is this?
what do you think?
Yeah. Actually, I think we're doing
Stats is usually considered science.
Did you say
Wait, this is science?
Yeah,
Didn't you say
What's
nothing?
physics? Is science or math?
science.
Wait, is it
It's a
hybrid?
connotative
I'm to tell.
science.
Didn't you say nothing is proven true ever?
Right.
So you said like theory, only theory, there was nothing ever.
No. So Brady, are we?
What side of YouTube are you on? Wait, what are you?
What side of YouTube are you on? Have you seen the egg theory, or not like the egg theory?
Oh, but she looks like kind of
I've literally read
I don't know.
No, you definitely
Unless you tell, you're probably freezing right now.
I'm pretty cold, yeah. I've been cold all day, but for some reason right now I'm feeling a little bit okay.
Oh, Andrew, did you send a video to Bob?
To Devon?
No, did you just send a video to Bob?
Oh, me taking Ethan.
Okay, guys.
Really? I was like,
Let's-
hey, happy birthday. I don't know what to say.
Okay,
It was so terrible.
quiet, please. We're going to go through some problems. These are like the hypothesis testing that we started introducing in the videos. So do you guys remember what we were going over with the,
No.
Very refresh me a little bit.
we had the default hypothesis
Oh,
and the alternative hypothesis. Do you remember that?
kind of.
And you had the 3 different scenarios. One of them was the, I'll go over them, I guess. One scenario was when you had the, you remember you built models, if you were paying attention. You built a model with the normal distribution based on the claimed value or the guessed value or the old value of the population average. Mu naught was the claimed value. In order to test the claim, you then create a sample from that population. You find where the average value for your sample is. And then depending on how likely it is to see what you saw or something more extreme, further away from the claimed, you were able to reject the null hypothesis or fail to reject. You can never confirm the hypothesis. Right, Brady?
Apparently, is what you told me. I don't believe it at all.
Well, I guess it's
That's one of the
true.
wise words and mysteries tell us.
We should believe it because it's
Well,
not true.
Maybe you heard that, maybe you heard that's not on YouTube, Brady.
I'm not on there yet.
Not yet.
That is, that should be in the videos. I think I posted that, right?
Might have.
Math memes.
Oh, that's so. Oh, do I have to show you something for calculus? But it blew my mind.
What's that?
I'll show you
Okay.
in calculus. Let me show Will.
Wait for calculus. You're gonna show them anyway.
No, the video of the guy, he's like, look at this, and it was like, like diagonal. Oh my gosh.
I don't have a charger.
Yeah, I think
Blew my mind.
you have all these videos. And here you guys,
How do you know you know calculus?
I commented on it.
did you?
I'll start
The
commenting
the
on
day
it.
I missed, I watched the video and commented on it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, I liked it.
Who is this guy?
He said, "Who is this?" new?"
Wait, what?
Who is this new mathematician? Huh.
What day did you miss?
Oh, the first day.
Oh, the first day?
Yeah.
Now we can watch all
Population of values. Whoa, I don't even know.
Maybe I didn't count. I don't know. I thought I did. I'm pretty sure I did.
Which one though, Andrew?
It was the first day of. I
I've
don't know.
never counted on
Really?
it. I feel like it's so pointless.
I've done it a couple times.
I don't know which one you watched.
Dog
It was.
You literally zero PR.
You didn't even try it.
Let me see. It was like. It was Wednesday.
I'm trendy.
Wednesday would
How
have
does this
been,
make sense? So I was at Circle K and I get
Six. Maybe it's 6.
an Arizona tea. These are 99 cents. It was $1.50.
They are taxing on monsters.
Dude, Circle K is taxing hard.
I bought one monster, gave them a 5, and they were like,
It
I don't see it.
doesn't make any sense.
It's
It's not
like
right.
minimum wage and I was getting raised, so everything's getting raised.
I liked it though. There's one like that.
Well, if I go to Walgreens,
Yeah.
I can get 2 of these for $1.
So,
Wait, where you
because
can
Circle
see
K is
that?
like the
I got
best
this at Circle K. It was $1.50.
Oh, they tax.
I know. It's just
Shell
terrible.
is like the best price for month.
Actually, what is that one place for?
Phillips
Okay.
66.
It's the gas station or Kroger, you can get it for like $1.
Oh yeah.
Monsters. Kroger?
That's
This morning he got.
If you go to Phillips 66, there's an Indian that works it. Best guy I've ever met.
I'm pretty sure
That's
that
the
guy
deal.
would sell you darts if he asked for it.
Dude, no. You're gonna sell me water? It said like $2.50 and it's gonna be for like $1. I'm like, dude, this is the best deal I've ever
Is that the
got.
one by Good Look, right?
Yeah, right next
I
to
went
it.
in there because I didn't have a mask. I couldn't Good Look. Me and Andrew were looking at stuff. And I went in there, asked for a mask. He goes, here you go. And I walk out, he goes, you have to pay. I'm like, oh. Like, I almost scared him.
All right, you have 3 scenarios
Was the Indian?
where we're gonna use our
Yeah.
hypothesis test. You build a model to test the claim. You don't know that it's true. You just build the model, and then you get your sample average, and then you see how far it is from the claim. And there were a few ways that you could do this, so we're going to go through those ways today. This was called a two-tailed test. This was called a right-tailed test. And you can probably assume that the other one's the left tail.
100%. Assuming.
So you do the two-tail test when you just want to see if the true mean is not actually equal, if you have enough evidence to say that the true mean is not equal to the claimed mean. You do the right-tail test if you want to check to see if the true mean is greater than the claimed mean. And you do the left-tail test if you want to check to see if the real mean is, did the wrong symbol, less than the claimed mean, right? Now, these were the alternative hypotheses. Does that ring a bell? Do you guys not pay attention at all over the remote?
It was so hard to focus.
It's like lagging.
I'm sorry. It was hard to focus.
Remote, yeah, no.
I couldn't the first day in physics, I blanked out for the first hour, and that's all we had. So I don't know what happened that
The
day.
first hour.
Couldn't tell you what happened that day. So,
I did pay attention to your drawing skills. Well, literally, I'm keeping a fact with you right now. Your drawing was so good one day that I was like, how does he draw that good? I got so sidetracked in my head. And I really was like wondering how you drew
Sometimes
so
it
You're
was hard to understand because like I live out in the country, my Wi-Fi is
Oh,
so
yeah.
choppy, so it's like you'll say one thing and then another word will pop in and I'm like, wait, what? And
Yeah.
I can't just like keep interrupting you to ask you what you said, so it was like
Well,
kind of hard to grasp onto
My
it.
sister and I do it with Wi-Fi.
in government.
Man.
All right. What was the other hypothesis called?
Dude.
What's it start with?
It was a hypothesis and a little subscript.
Left tail.
Left tail.
Right.
No, it's for all of them.
So no.
Oh,
That's the null hypothesis.
Oh, yeah.
It's usually got a little zero subscript. And that's always the opposite of the alternative. So the default hypothesis would be that the true mean is equal to the claimed mean, or that the true mean is less than or equal to the claimed mean, or if the true mean is greater than or equal to. It's always the opposite, and it always has equality in it. Is that okay? All right, so we are going to look at some of these questions. This one you just are supposed to name, they meant to have these be subscripts. They're usually small. So in each of the following situations, it requires a significance test about a population mean, so some mu. State the appropriate null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis in each case. So the first one, credit bureau data shows that the mean household income in an area served by a shopping mall is $72,500 per year. A market research firm questions shoppers at the mall to find out whether the mean household income of mall shoppers is higher than that of the general population. So what's my claimed mean here?
What?
Clean mean.
Yeah, that'd be the mu naught.
The mu.
72,000.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it has to be the 70.
Yeah, that's the only number you got, right?
Well, I was reading
It's the only number there.
Well, I think it's the only thing that it could be.
That's right.
Maybe.
That's right.
We're so smart.
So that's the claimed average, okay?
Yeah.
So what would the default hypothesis be when you're testing this claim,
What do you mean?
based on what I said?
Right.
No, no, no.
What are you talking about?
Right tail?
Well, we'll come back to the tail, but for the default hypothesis, what's the mean, basically? What's the claim about it?
They're seeing if it's more than the 72,000.
Yeah, they are. So we would write it kind of like this. We would write that, in this case, the default hypothesis is that mu is, well, actually the default, they want to check to see if it is greater.
Yeah.
So the default will be the opposite. That it's,
What?
so
Make up a number.
I should be over here.
The
No,
default
go,
will be lower than the other?
I should put it here. So the default is that the true mean is actually less than or equal to.
The HO is
That's the null hypothesis
oh, that
or
was close.
the default hypothesis.
Until proven. Not true.
Well, no, your options are to reject the null hypothesis or to fail to reject the null hypothesis.
It is.
You don't,
Fail or fail?
So like.
You can't
fail
confirm it.
successfully?
yeah. So like the idea is that if you tell me something about the world, I can test that to possibly disprove
It's
it.
not wrong, but it's not 100%.
I can't prove it,
Okay.
but I can test it over and over again, and I can feel more and more like that's reliable theory. But any day, somebody could perform a test, a better test, and prove it wrong. And none of those things I did before matter once it's proved wrong.
What's that called?
That's called the scientific,
It's called the hoe.
the philosophy of science.
How do you know?
Well, yeah.
Is this the hoe that
Yes.
talking about?
Yes,
This
yes.
is the hoe.
This is the hoe.
Oh, this is the hoe.
Do not confirm the hoe.
We do not
That-
confirm the hoe.
That was the poster.
There is multiple.
There's
Here it is. Don't worry about it.
As you look at the TV, there's multiple hoes.
The poster we made was like,
I forgot my phone was. I put it here.
You done did me.
I know, I forget.
You done did.
Oh my, you dumb goose.
I know you have that.
I literally had
That's in
it.
your phone.
I had it in my pocket yesterday. And I couldn't find it for like 10
You
minutes.
got one.
You dumb goose.
Alright, we're back.
You outdid yourself.
so yeah, they thought that was funny,
Movement.
saying that you can reject the hoe, you can fail to reject, but never confirm the hoe. Okay, so for us, the default hypothesis is that the mean value is less than or equal to what it was before, and the alternative, the one that we want to see if it's true or not, is that it's actually greater than this.
No. Which we can't.
So this is how you would write it.
Uh-huh.
That's
it.
Yeah.
So hoe,
Man, I am
so hoe is
deal
that, and then ha, is that ha or hoe?
I just say the alternative
Is that
hypothesis.
EJ?
That would be ha.
Yeah, I just call this the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis.
So the alternative is the one you want to get.
It's just the class
The
last
hoe
year
is
liked
less
calling
than-
this hoe.
72,500. But the hot-
Yeah, because if you read the question's text, it shows that their data shows that the median income in the area is this much.
Uh-huh.
The market research firm questions shoppers at the mall to find out whether the mean household income of mall shoppers is higher than the general population. So they're checking to see if it's greater. So the default hypothesis, they need evidence to make that claim. If they don't have the evidence, they're going to stick with the default hypothesis, which is that it was what it was or not higher.
I'm just not even gonna go to college.
Where's it go?
I'm doing clay.
Wait a minute.
Hacked it.
Come back.
Brady might have hacked it.
I hate when this thing fails.
It's failing now.
Actually, they
So
probably.
later.
I'll just look it up.
I may have to go to the board.
If you think it's failing now,
Your screen
good luck trying to.
Now he just froze your screen.
I'm gonna clean Jason's.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Can I pull up ink and
Go back to the Chrome or the other.
Chrome Dome.
I'm literally
Going back to fine.
We're going dark.
let's try this?
It's loading.
Oh.
I'm trying things here.
Brandon wants a job.
Invest in real
What's
estate.
it now?
It's really good occupation.
That's the real estate.
I guess I'll have to write on the board.
Oh, we're going old school.
We're going
It's
old
not
school.
here.
Well, it's not old school because back in the day they didn't have full touch chalk.
Oh. It had that cream.
They
shot.
carved it.
I'm downloading nothing.
They carved it in
Long
stone.
call.
It's
They gotta get a new stone every day.
You know the real
Here
estate.
you go. To Blake.
You
Is
know
it
the
my red phone?
stone. Oh,
Crap.
yeah, I'm
Is this
struggling.
red phone?
Say that. He's not correct right now.
You should clean the whole board with the actual thing.
We had that French guy.
It's so satisfying. Oh, you missed a spot. There's like 3 spots.
About 8 each.
Man,
Can I look at it before you submit it?
and no cat you missed it.
Wait a minute. There's like one spot right in the middle. Wait, no. Oh,
Oh, much better.
that's
Much
better.
better.
I don't know how we got it.
Much
I don't know how you got that
These
perfect.
are not.
There was like a little spot. You just went perfectly over.
Alright, they're not real.
That might. He's a wizard.
Do
I
I
have a
have
real shotgun shell, but it is always just.
That's the last.
Tell me since nothing to.
Tell me where I don't. You're
Do I have your attention now?
You're the best, dude.
How many songs
Okay.
are there?
So what they would have to do is they'd have to get a sample, find the average value for that sample, and then compare how far that is away. And there's, again, there are 3 different ways you can perform the test, they're all equivalent. Basically, it's gonna check to see if that probability of the called p-value for getting what you saw or something further from the model. So, if this is what you saw, what was the likelihood of seeing that? Or something more extreme, further away from the middle, if the model were true. If it's exceedingly rare, if that's not likely to see that given the model, then that's when you reject default hypothesis.
Are we gonna be able to go up on the board?
So that's pretty much just gonna be the same thing for every one of these questions, then, like this.
What's that?
I need experience.
No, obviously.
Yeah, you're gonna be, they want you to write this like that.
And then you.
Figure out if the tail is correct,
You just change it.
and then we'll go through some actually perform the test, and I'll show you all the
This
different
is the
ways.
same thing.
How do you decide if it's right or not again?
What do you mean?
Or if it's rejected or not?
So there's
That's
3
rejected.
different ways to do that.
Those 3 had a.
Very good one.
One way,
Who you it
you have a question?
I'm gonna do.
One way to calculate the probability of having a result that's as far from the plane as what you saw, or even further.
How do you do that?
We'll go through this. You use a calculator.
That's right.
What the job is.
You need a little bit more information than this problem gives you. You only do this one. The other way you could do it is build a confidence interval around the plane.
26 and 40.
So, the 2 ways are by checking the p-value. That's mostly.
I'm a calculator.
But we don't know that in this one, do
What results is that?
What's that?
we? We don't know that in this one.
Yeah, you don't know.
Which one are you trying to start?
Good thing.
You could use a confidence interval.
I'm working.
CIA.
Yeah. Which you could use a calculator
You said number 3.
or the formula.
Tuesday, January.
The other way is through a test. Test.
Yeah.
If I get a job.
What's that?
Oh,
So that's like the z-score.
Oh, the Z interval thing?
Yeah,
Oh, we got it.
versus the critical z-score. So if you're too far out from 0, you're positive or
Yeah.
negative, you would reject.
You can write it down.
What's your
It's
handwriting?
still, don't erase it.
That's probably gonna be up there for the next 3 weeks.
That's a good shit.
You guys,
Oh, Mr. Stella, you still not right?
Go in that day.
I haven't in a long time, but yeah, I would. No, not in here.
You have to donate to my paper.
Yeah, no, worry, Brady hasn't played in forever, and he just started playing. So he's still kind of dug one.
Oh, I had something for you guys. Let's see if I can.
Stop spitting.
That was fun playing though.
I'll play
It's
bad.
not the
Yeah.
floor, but I'm gonna.
I'm
do
just
it.
messing around.
I'm trying to get Brady in the. He's trying to
Nate
fly
does make some good.
in the air.
I don't know how you do it.
Called
You know,
practice.
for January, they dropped the-
Practice makes perfect.
It's called.
If you're playing that game for like 10
Well,
minutes.
good thing I don't do
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's literally one-
Here's one for you guys.
No in between. It's
Stupid.
Yeah, I know. It is.
There was a better one,
If you
though.
got a bolt, that's when
Let's see if I can find it.
Justin.
What's that?
They sound
That's Justin.
I was watching, Evaporate
Example.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You got it.
That is crazy. I don't know how
He's on keyboard and mouse, dude.
he gets double jumps and then mid-air he gets like another jump.
That's a flip. That's a flip reset.
Oh my
Wait,
God.
Kyle?
I don't know how he did it.
I'm working on that. But
It fits like perfectly in his verses. Because like
I don't know why.
I'm working on it. Nothing moves.
How do you get money in?
it's more realistic watching the show.
I'm not rushing now.
Hey, there,
You rushing?
it's like the finals or something tomorrow for some.
I'm not rushing
Move
you,
out of the way.
but if you decide to write faster, I wouldn't complain.
Jordan, I will do anything
You can back out.
for those
I'm
numbers.
not backing on it.
For confidence.
I can't find the other one.
Oh,
I must have closed it.
Employee recruitment.
Yeah. I'll find it and I'll show you
What's
later.
Gaussian?
A Gaussian?
Gaussian?
Carl Friedrich Gauss was like one of the
He's a
most
genius.
famous mathematician.
He made the ball.
He made the belt bowl.
Oh, you made the wrong thing?
No, that's a different guy.
Something becomes a thing.
I remember everything home.
Where? Did I ask?
Oh, that's because there's a tiny little hair and you gotta pull it up. It's sort of good. No, outside.
That's an awful lot.
It's probably one of your actual hairs.
Have you seen that? Oh my
You just
god.
gotta take it off. And,
What's the mark above the 7?
That's a W.
7.
I know, I should.
No,
You
it's
mean
not.
the Z?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a dollar sign.
Is it or is it a?
Apologize.
Wait, where do you see the 7
Yeah,
It's 72,500.
Oh,
Thanks, that's your apology.
I'm like,
I'm gonna tell them that I'm bilingual.
That's just not hard.
you know,
That was the one.
Will's bilingual.
There's rumors of that.
Oh, are you?
I don't think
I'm
Judy?
trained.
You
You don't count that as language.
Yeah. It's all one language for us.
Okay, guys.
It's pretty much.
Well,
Thank
I
God.
know, I bet you knew.
Thank
Jordan,
God.
I will literally
We're the only ones who know how to
do anything.
Explain them to you.
You put something with you.
Jordan has it now, so then we have to explain how to use
I thought Coach
it.
Taylor was hanging out.
Nothing that was released. Where were you
Like,
today?
no way.
You get, you.
I'd be like,
Brady,
Oh.
quiet please.
woo. You keep calling me. I'm so tired.
Guys. There's people calling me about my car insurance.
Oh, I love that.
This is your final notice.
Every single person in this world.
Have we all gotten that phone call?
It's all about warranty.
I've seen a TikTok.
Yeah, like an extended warranty.
This is your final
Rebecca.
warranty for the artist.
It's like Rebecca, your warranty is almost up.
They wait for you to say hello.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this is actually the person, but I just wait.
I have this thing saying on TikTok.
I don't say anything and then it just hangs up.
They might just be checking to see if you have a live number, and then they'll sell that number to marketers.
There are times where I get like random texts. It's like, hi.
Well, I was going to say, I don't even have a car.
That is very messed up.
Oh.
I'm literally better than you.
Oh,
I get random text messages. It's like, Kyle, you need to update your new info. Click here. I'm like, yeah.
One
so I'll
time,
do that.
no,
I
I
sent
got
him back, you know those like IP tracing links?
Oh, that's it.
I sent him back a Spotify link and he clicked it and I got his IP and I
There it is.
and stuff. He's like, I'm sorry.
He's like, those are
Yeah.
How's Florida? How's Dainesville, Florida?
That's the
How's
meme.
Dallas?
That's the meme I was looking for.
How's Stanley? Oh wait. How's Russia?
I text message you like, thank you, email, there's like a link. I think it
Oh,
was.
you clicked
Hey,
it?
did you click it? Dude.
Did you
You
click
got a
Because
link?
it's like,
Yeah, no.
sex trafficking.
You can type
Good.
yeah,
You can't get
No.
sex trafficking.
that's not where you get sex.
Wait, that's
Someone
not
sells
what?
you very Rochester.
I just
They can
closed
sell you
it.
Rochester.
He's like, there's a famous Stalin quote that's like, 1 million deaths, or like 1 death is a tragedy, 1 million deaths is a statistic. And, but that quote was that 1 million deaths is a statistic, but this many deaths out of 7 billion is a parameter, because that's the whole population. It's not a sample.
Grab.
I'm ready to learn.
Grab?
Okay. Put the cards away, guys.
What?
I'm gonna hide those now.
Wait. I wanna Andrew, teach me.
No. I know how to do it now.
Andrew's so. Oh, I can't bridge. And those cards
I
suck.
know you drafted
My
it.
what
mom's
you're doing?
pregnant.
Do you know how to do it?
Yeah, I know how to do it. Angie, Master's Andrew. Master Blast.
You were playing Rocket League, Nate.
Actually, I was watching Rocket League for 10 minutes,
Cards outside.
and then,
Hey,
hey, but you know what? I come back in, and then I do what was needed. I did do what you said.
Okay.
When no one was answering, I'm like, oh, let me quit watching Rocket League. And then I come back, I'm like, so what are we doing? You're like this. I'm like, oh, okay. 2 minutes. I'm like, oh, he's answering. So it was all up here.
All right.
To tell us.
Well, let's warm that up right now.
Warm it up.
Okay, guys. Who can do this one?
Me.
You want to go up to the board?
Yeah. Yes. I'll do it.
Last year. Quiet, guys.
Actually, I don't know.
They were so confident.
Would it be that, but with the 1.8?
Yeah, it's similar.
It's not took an average of 1.8 hours. Like an offspring.
Is it the one above it too?
What's that?
So does it want like a more?
Let's see if I can get to that again. Oh, there we go. So remember, you have 3 scenarios.
They want one of the two on the right.
One of those 2?
Yeah.
Why can't it be the one on the left and right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. So read it carefully. Do this year's data show a different average response time?
No. The same?
Well, you can't answer it because they don't give you enough information.
So, that's where they trick you. That's where they.
This kind of Can I go use the restroom?
Yes,
Oh, he's crazy. He's running.
it's which of these fits that.
There's no good spots to support.
There's no support.
Yeah, do you want to write that, Jordan?
Oh, Jordan, you got it?
Oh, God, that's a lot of information. Okay.
Oh, it's locked in my mind.
I have 2 people ready to use that.
Jordan.
So
Write that down.
we just chose this
Neat,
one
yeah.
for the last problem because they wanted to know if it was amount more than 72,000.
So I think it's the two.
Yeah.
So now if you just check to see if it's just different. Either way,
Yeah, good.
then you'll do the 2
Leftovers.
It's detailed. Andrew's wrong. It was a 2 fingers.
Whoa! What do you call the hill on the right?
I don't know what this is.
What do you call the one on the right?
I can't see. I can't. What's this? This is A.
Yeah.
Hey, that's hot. Yeah, that's
That's
hot.
hot. Another one's ho.
Tonight, so if I find it, and I looked up a bunch of different questions to see.
Why isn't it ho?
Why is it hot?
It's normally, they start with the default, then the alternative. I did it backwards.
Oh. So the ho ha.
There's definitely a way to know what.
Andrew, what are you writing?
This match describes specifications.
I told you,
You know-
the little hearing aid.
I'm pretty sure these language skills.
You know, I have extra masks in my
Sometimes-
car.
Is that it?
Okay.
Ability to speak
Oh,
French.
this is scary. I heard you.
Andrew.
This is HO.
You got them backwards,
You suck.
What do you mean backwards?
just like that.
Yeah.
Now it's good.
Oh, yeah, Andrew.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Andrew's so smart.
Because it's 1.8.
How is that only over?
Because it can only be equal to 1.8.
How is it? Wait, it's a. Oh, yeah.
yeah, because the question didn't say, is it now more than 1.8 or is it less than 1.8? It just said, is it different?
So if they're different, you use the 2 things.
So
Yes,
if-
the one on the left.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, medium.
I even
That's hilarious, dude. How you said that?
Yeah. It's just.
I'm sorry.
Are we good?
Can you
You
go
make me
back?
feel comfortable.
Girls like you discuss it. Hey, you're only as beautiful as how you treat people.
Yeah.
Your sister posted that on Instagram.
When I started working 2 years ago, I got 8.5.
Because
I stopped
That's good.
it's
I remember one time you just came out of the meeting because you asked to have like your pictures.
I have that at the desk.
That's really my way. That's not the 3D one.
Not the one.
You think
Don't even say it.
I'm sneaky.
Let's do another one. I can do this.
They're copying this down.
Okay, wait. Go, wait.
Jordan, you think he's that close?
It wouldn't hurt for you guys to write it down too.
Yeah, guys.
Jordan's doing
I got it right down, man.
Okay, sorry.
So I can close this and you got it?
Sure.
Yeah.
No,
Wait.
Probably.
Let's go with something.
I know two-tailed, right-tailed, right-tailed.
He knows the names.
There's draw a little hill.
Right tail's pointing right with the equal sign underneath.
Right tail through. Test.
Right-tailed actually has a left.
Some of them are like.
You got it?
Oh, that's the left tail.
Yeah, that's left.
We're talking about
What?
the photo
Got it.
Left-tailed.
with the red babies.
You're welcome.
What's that?
You have a lunch.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have a lunch?
It's a good photo.
No, we don't. No, they do.
What time do we get out of
I
here?
hate you.
Three, 55.
55 and then a lunch and then come.
Nice, nice. I thought Kelk had split lunch, B lunch. It goes off of Kelk. Okay, nice. I don't like the split lunch.
Yeah.
Reed's the only one that doesn't talk about it.
He's never seen it. Have you ever seen it? This is.
2:45.
Have you seen Dale in person?
Have you guys got this yet?
Yep.
Okay.
Have you ever smelled it? Me neither.
Don't answer. What's this called?
I'd
What's
rather
this
have
topic
a
called?
good friend.
Hypothesis
The best
test.
of friends.
Hypothesis test.
Best friend. Oh, is this one you guys?
All right, the survey.
Read the first one?
This is a new one.
That's lucky a lot.
Oh, really?
All right, this group is a psychological test that measures the motivation, attitude towards school, and study habits of students. Scores range from 0 to 200, with 200 being the highest level of motivation. The mean score for U.S. college students is about 115, and the standard deviation is about 30. A teacher who suspects that older students have better attitudes towards school gives the test to 20 students who are at least 30 years of age. The teacher now collects data from the 20 students. The mean is 135.2. Is this evidence of a significantly higher score by older students? So this one we can actually do because we have enough numbers.
Is this one the
Can we write it?
two-tailed?
Yeah,
Is this evidence?
Let's write it.
Double-tailed.
No, it's not. Oh,
read the question part of it, the last sentence.
Wouldn't it be the two-tailed?
Read the last sentence.
Or is it higher? So they're looking for low.
Oh,
They're looking to see if there's evidence if it's higher, right?
Yeah.
Oh my.
So
So it's right.
It's like it's
Go
like,
back to the thing.
It's right leaning.
so right?
It's the one.
What do you guys think about that?
What?
Oh, yeah, I did.
It's the right tail that we need.
Sure.
I don't know.
So if it's higher. So
Wait.
yeah, it should. Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Which one do you use at the time? When one time? Should be in my notes right here.
Yeah. Wait, yeah, I actually need to write that down. When do you use the tire?
Surprisingly enough, it's
Is this right?
yeah,
I don't know the number.
115.
Are you sure? I thought it was like 135 or something.
That's
No,
what
no,
that's
no,
what
no,
they
no.
tested with. That's what they got for the X bar.
This one's one?
Yeah, same.
Pick one.
I know, I thought.
Wait, what
I
would you use?
told you it was
So
right.
you use red tail as
Yeah,
a
because
tire?
Yeah.
they're looking for this and this is bigger.
It's a lot.
If they want to know if they have evidence if it's higher, then if they do have evidence that it's higher, they'll reject the idea that it's not higher.
So right tail higher, left tail's lower, what's two tail? Equal? Yeah.
It's just different. Is it not the same?
I gotta find my pen compound.
I'm kinda confused on that. Oh, that's because you wrote it different.
Well, one is just asking, is the mean far from the middle?
No,
That's all it's asking. One is asking if it's much
So how
greater.
do we do this?
All right, you guys got your calculators?
Hold up.
Whoa,
I
whoa.
gotta get my T85 out.
I have achieved three.
I keep distracted.
It's 84, but
Double values, dude.
All right.
You turn down the names of the bottom.
So soon, we're going to learn about a new distribution. So not the normal distribution, but
Poison.
a very similar one.
what's it called?
The student T distribution.
I don't see that here at all.
If you go to your stats tests, you'll see there are Z tests and there are T tests.
Yeah.
Now, we are given the standard deviation for the population. So we're going to stick with the Z test.
Z?
Yeah.
In stats or data?
Because. So the standard deviation is 3. It's like.
It's Z interval or what?
It's not 150,
Z
it's
test.
135.2.
Oh,
What's
got it,
that?
got it. That's
It's 135.2.
That's X bar.
Oh, there's 159.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's about 30.
So make sure that you're on stats and not data because we're entering in statistics here.
Okay.
So you have a tab for stats.
What's N mean? What's N?
Oh, yeah.
N is the sample size.
So that's 200?
No,
What's that first thing?
Wait, what's the U with 0?
that's the claimed mean.
Oh, 115?
Yeah.
I don't have that.
Are you in a Z test?
Whoa.
Oh,
I got
Z
Z
test.
test. Oh, man.
115.
And the X is the mean,
The
right?
standard deviation
Yes.
is 30.
Yeah.
Then what's
The X with the, what's that
The
again?
line?
X bar is their mean for their sample.
So it's 135.2.
Point two, yeah.
What's N?
What's the N again?
N is the sample size. 20.
So it's 200.
Oh, wait, but out of theirs is 20.
Yeah. What's this other stuff that looks like Korean?
On the bottom?
20 is just the max score on the test.
No, it's the. It's the
I mean
That's what
200.
we're using. We're using the last one, right?
Are we using this one?
So you entered all of it?
Are we using this?
in theology.
I'm gonna assume it's just the one on the right.
So you got a p-value.
So
And you
I think
got
it's on the right.
statistics, so you got a z-score and you got a p-value.
I think so. Are we using this one?
Yeah, I think you're not using, you're
Yeah.
using the, not equal to,
Do we calculate or
you
draw?
want the greater than.
We calculate or draw?
You can do both, but calculate's the one that you're using.
199.
What?
I need help.
What's the
So, yeah,
Wait, which one?
that's 115, 30,
What? One in the middle? One in the middle?
135.2.
20.
Oh,
Change that to mu is greater than that. There you go. So, yeah.
Where is this on the right?
Is you with the box like?
Were we looking for the P value?
Is that one wrong? I don't believe any.
Let's see.
Oh, is there-
Yeah, me too. He makes it seem like so. You guys are wrong.
Holy shit. What did you get ready?
Wait,
Yeah.
Red.
Did they say, did the question say different or higher? Okay. I thought it was.
So.
They say.
well, no, you got.
Make sure you do the.
What's the divide there?
That's what we're.
But I got the wrong answer. Is it? Go
Okay.
ahead, calculate
That's
again.
where the answer.
Oh, this is me and Will got the same one.
There's gonna be more jobs. Will, what'd you get?
But how'd you do it?
Yeah, so that's you have a z-score, so you have your test statistic. You have a p-value, which is the probability of
Oh, yeah,
seeing what you
up
saw
top.
or something further higher.
So the Z was what?
3.01.
So 3.01.
What was that mean?
Mr. Patel, is it the one you told me?
You get
Was
this
that
shit
that
weird
one?
with.
Yeah.
What was the goal of this? What were we trying to look for? The P hat?
The p-value, what was the p-value?
0.0013.
Okay. All right, so what level of confidence do we want?
95.
And we wanted, a 90% confidence level. We would compare this to 10%, 0.1.
Oh.
How do we know?
If we wanted 95%, we would compare it to 0.05.
290.
And if we wanted a 99%, we compare it
Oh, that's
to
easy.
0.01.
So be 99.
So this is smaller than all of those. So this
So this is like 100.
So this is
And 99.
extremely rare if the model is true.
So this is 199.
So your best
Is
bet,
it
I guess, now.
1,000.
So,
Oh, we can't do it. It's not good.
So you just put, it's.
No, it's
So
really
that means we have
That means
enough,
that's wrong. and we
yeah,
do
the model's wrong. We have enough evidence to reject the default hypothesis.
Rejected.
Isn't this
This is significant evidence.
Is this the one rejecting it?
Yeah, this is, yeah, we reject this one. And
It is
now
so
we
cool.
think we have evidence that the.
So circle that.
I hate wearing like this. So it's
How do you
so
know what to
puffy.
put
We
under
would
the
just
head?
like, reject.
It feels so nice though.
It does look. It
How do you
feels
know
like
it's
it
at-
looks
how-
like
so how owns
but
it?
it's like too much.
it looks
How's that
expensive.
rejecting this?
That's a good, easy, that's easy.
Well,
to
nice.
remember.
Oh, it looks good pumpy.
No, it's so warm.
Oh, is that a,
Michelin.
is that a raincoat? Or is that just a coat?
No, it's over
I've
there.
been trying to get like a raincoat.
Yeah, I'm ready to
Oh,
get
I
it.
already thought like a wood-
Alright, did you guys follow that then?
Oh, yeah, I did.
How about
I got
the
one
easy
like
one
that.
at the 3
Sit down, you guys.
Yeah, I got one that's kind of like that. I like throwing it. That's still got 40 minutes.
What? That's so long.
Nothing good or something.
Cheese has turkey, peanut butter and jelly, chicken has zucchini.
Oh, so it's definitely a burger day.
Alright,
Speaking of burger.
we
Oh,
just
we're
did
getting
a.
serious?
Yeah.
That's what it is for lunch.
Quiet, please. We just did the hypothesis test using the p-value by using the z-test on the calculator. We're gonna go through the other two ways that you can do this. One of them is with the critical z-score. So we got a z-score of 3.01. If you remember, for like 95% confidence, it was like 1.96 or something.
Yeah.
For 90%, it was like 1.645. And for,
Then,
even for 99, it's in the two.
And that's at
it's like
2.26.
2.5 something, yeah. So this is further from zero. Zero means the middle. This is much higher from the middle than those critical z-scores. So if this is bigger than, if the absolute value of it is bigger than the critical z-scores, you would reject.
So if that Z score is really small, then it's really good.
I think it's close to.
Throw it back, Nick.
Yeah. And the p-value will be much higher.
Can't make me act up.
It'll then be likely that you would see what we saw given the models, but.
What's the other?
I like the way we did it.
The last way, you can also use a calculator or you can use the formula, is to make a confidence interval.
No, not the way we did it.
So I would take mu naught, if I use the formula, and I plus or minus the margin of error. That means I need a critical z-score. What level of confidence do you want?
95.
25? What was that, 1.96?
96.
1.96.
That's one that we know.
I don't know.
And then we want
Andrew,
sigma over the square root of
Not necessarily.
right? So this
I love
was
Andrew.
115.
It's cereal.
So this is 1.96.
Look at that.
Critical z-scores.
Yeah.
And understanding conditions learning, and there were 20 people. Can you guys figure out what that is,
So,
range wise?
Oh, yeah, Brady has it.
115. Oh.
This is not the way to do it. I have a question on.
Do I do times 30 divided by the square root of 10?
What am I
Not like you said.
128.
You-
0.1480, so 128.15.
128, you added it?
Yeah,
You're
1.15.
I got 101.85. Yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
For the minus?
85?
101.85.
Okay. So there you created a
Well, we don't
95%. That's a 95% confidence interval. And our value that we observed was the 135.2. it was outside this event. It was not in the confidence interval, so that means we have enough evidence to reject.
Wait, where did you?
What if we did a 99?
That's just the critical B score.
What do you want
I
us
shared
to show
that
on
online.
us? What if we did a 99 one?
You
Would it
give
be
us
different?
calls too?
The critical Z
You
score is
just use
95%
whichever one you
confidence
use
interval.
for-
This what?
whichever- whatever say-
That's a
Oh,
confidence
the things that like we were doing.
If we did a 99 interval, confidence interval,
Yeah.
will those be different
Maybe
numbers?
we can voice
Yeah,
on
it'd be
something.
wider.
Oh, it's wider.
But it's still one
This is
exact.
95%.
Oh,
Okay.
For the people
Okay.
what we did, what would have made that like a
You're not
slot
even the same way
we
with
thought?
it.
Because
This
this
was
was
Literally
this was bigger
taking
than
1.96.
like 0.05.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
for 95% confidence, that means you have 5% significance.
Okay, so that number is bigger than 0.05.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Decent,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Now, once you do that,
Alright, one last one,
Then
one
broccoli.
for this example, then I'll let you guys practice.
practice the bridge.
Trying to
so
do
now
one
each
without my
question
help.
takes like 20 minutes.
Oh, I can do it.
So go ahead and go to your calculators, stats, tests. This time go to a Z interval.
Oh.
That's what I was on earlier.
Oh, really?
I'm on that.
Sure you did.
How do you do the intervals? I think you figured it out before, but I don't know how you do it.
We want the floor and lost everything.
Uh-oh.
We went crazy.
Z interval.
He literally couldn't speak English.
Well, yeah, American government. American that is like.
And he was. The best thing.
Racism.
Are you guys in?
That was the best thing I've
Yeah.
heard.
Alright, so for your X bar, in this case, this is a-
go to stats.
135.2.
no, you're gonna put in the mu naught for this, because you wanna make your interval around where they claim.
So
So,
150.
Yeah,
Which one's 915 though?
Oh, I'm on vacation.
Oh, no, that would be.
So
the
it's
next
the interval.
bar
Over it?
X bar is 115, sigma will be 30, M will be 20.
Am I wrong? It's Z interval, right?
Yeah. Well, see, data though.
Let's
Data.
see.
I mean stats. I mean stats.
Wait, I think I'm.
Look at
What
that.
do you
sea
want us to
level's
find?
95.
Oh, it's not 30, yeah,
The sea level is 95.
0.99.
Wow.
yeah.
Well, you can hear that.
So you can either use the formula or you can use the calculator.
Is this?
I
I
got
got
that
something
number.
different. I got something different.
How different?
Yeah,
You don't put the point.
Sea level.
So I did.
Did you put point in?
I did 0.95, but
and you should do the same thing that we calculated.
Will.
You put
Yeah.
30 here, it should be 20.
So that would see that 135.2 is not. in the
You said that was
so
30.
Well,
You
look
put
at
that
that.
one on top of
What do you put for a sea
Look
level?
at that.
0.95.
Oh, yeah.
I think we just went to 0.95.
Yes, Nate, because.
Wait, why would we reject it? Because
Yeah,
it's the
one
what?
is with the
Because the 135.2 doesn't lie.
So that means you have friends that.
Yeah.
So it's just far field.
Like that.
Oh,
What's this show?
acquaintance.
Guys.
Confidence. This
Is it
is.
good there then?
We got it.
All right.
Jordan's so good at taking notes.
See if you guys can apply that now.
Can we just, we just did this one, and not even do these ones? Like, do we
They're,
need this
they're,
thing?
they're all equivalent. They're all testing the,
You're right.
It's all different.
Okay.
The brain's gonna be stuck on that for a little bit. How do we know it's real?
I can send, I have a video for you.
What is CMB like?
Yeah, actually.
I like those because actually.
I don't know.
They're just, they're equivalent ways, but they're different ways of testing whether or not it's true. You can either look at the probability, or you can look at the test statistic, which is how many standard deviations away it is.
Wait, what?
I don't like the other one like we just did.
The interval,
Yeah.
yeah, then where you can make a confidence interval, that's, width is based on your confidence level. And then if the thing is inside or not, is what determines whether or not you have enough evidence to reject the default assumption.
So that one will work too if I use it.
Yeah, they'll all work.
We'll see you.
Oh, this is the name?
Alright, see if you guys can do this, I'm gonna,
This is to tell us.
Yeah.
Anyway, what does,
That's a new.
what's the U with the 0 mean again?
you not, that's the claim.
We don't have a code right there.
That means.
Or it might be the old value, let's see. Your company sells accessories, clothing, internet, design clothing, like that.
No, this is a Z.
You can do anyone you want.
So we take an example, like,
Well,
this is just one of the-
See, this is just the.
this is just a Z example.
Yeah, I was doing tests. I'm like, there's no way.
This is, they're not really asking us to test a claim on it.
115.
So we can't do tests?
So it's- yeah, it's just.
I don't think so. That's probably the follow-up question, I'll say.
That's a huge thing.
The X value is 61.9, right? Or just MU.
Oh, we did it, boys.
Which one?
We did it.
X bar.
Ready? We're gonna.
59.99, 63.59.
Start.
That's early this morning.
So there's an example. And then they'll probably ask you, should you reject something, a claim of this?
So now it's the question of whether we use the Z interval or the
That's
Z.
just so sad.
That line up.
All right. Now they follow it with this.
So you can you use it then?
Yeah, you can use that.
Because it's in between it?
Is it in between?
Yes, yeah, 61.
So would you reject the default hypothesis?
No.
It's in between this number.
Because the hole is in between it. In between the 59 and the 69. The 61.3 kilogram hole is in between the 59 and the 63 kilogram.
So we don't.
You do. You don't.
You don't.
And like, he was like,
Bro, it's a yes or no?
And then like the comments were
Yeah.
like, oh.
We reject it, no, we don't.
No.
No, we
They would
don't.
fail to reject the default
We
hypothesis.
do keep it.
And then they're like, no, keep it up.
Exactly.
2024.
Isn't that like a meltdown?
Yeah, like he's gonna be alive.
Negative.
How about number
So we
4?
don't cross out.
No, we can't.
Okay.
You would write fail to reject.
Use it.
Okay.
You Z interval.
This
You
is
could do a
the.
Z test, you could do like the interval, you could,
How did that?
So.
what was the other one?
33.9.
Please do.
Just come me out.
Hold on, what's the unit? I keep forgetting.
$33.
You used the whole thing, Christian.
That is one I listened to.
UNOT is the claim.
How much? What's the number?
So it's 34.
Wait, 34? No, it's $33.
What's the claim?
I'm not gonna say that. I don't know.
UNOT is
It's
the
too
claim.
low, so it should be this.
Everybody likes him though. He's just cute. Yeah, he's just.
So the other one's fine.
It should be in the middle.
This is what I got.
So the government made a claim that the average income was 34,950. So that's
So
UNOT.
it's more
And it's
than.
50.
It's.
Yeah, what?
It's
Right.
Oh, we got it, boys.
X bar is
The middle, right?
34.
Somebody Gaga.
You have a population of 2024.
34.
They want to know if the government's estimate is too low, meaning is this number higher?
No, it's the middle one. Because the other one was high, so we want to find if it's low,
Well, they're not saying is,
right?
they're not saying is this study
Where you going?
too low, they're saying is the government's claim too low, so this is going to be higher.
Oh, so we gotta do the high thing.
Yeah.
Andrew, we were wrong.
Good thing.
Let's go. We were wrong. What's wrong?
That's hilarious.
Let's go. It's the one on the right.
Because it's.
That was tricky wording.
Wait,
So you gotta read it more than once.
Red.
Yes, it's the red.
LST.
See the last
Pretty.
sentence.
That's
what you got.
True means board.
If you dig a 6 foot hole, how deep is
What's the
it?
alpha?
Said if you.
That's your significance
Dig a
level, it's
6
at
foot hole, how
1%,
deep is
your
it?
confidence level will be 99.
23.
Oh, we didn't have that.
So we don't have to do that, right?
0.99. Unless you did it, yeah, you should have to enter that.
Or like county.
Oh, maybe not for tests, if you do the test.
Yeah.
We all did the test.
So did you get a P
That's
value?
because this.
P,
That's
0.122.
redneck.
Point
So that's not good.
Point
No,
one?
I think point
Zero,
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 two.
three.
No, zero, yeah, 0
Point
to 3.
003, so less than.
That's not good.
So you have to
That's
reject it.
terrible.
We're gonna get rid of it.
Of the government.
Just try down.
I'm sorry.
You have to use the other one for this.
So let's have
I don't know about one of them.
See, Mom, it's this. Do it.
You're gonna write the
Thank you.
stuff.
You see what I said?
I bet, I got
The
bet.
alpha. So you basically get an alpha. The confidence will be
Is he just saying?
You
I
running?
love that guy.
He made my day.
Oh wait, oh, that lift? The biggest guy ever made because I like your motivation.
So,
It's like, I made it feel so good.
I need some blue shoes, but
Let me check your numbers again.
I need to get
I'll make blue. I pretty much got for free.
I'm like cold.
I need to get
I'm cold too. Cold enough.
Hey, Song Billy, thank you.
blue.
It's a team that you can trust.
Standard deviation is 3.4 now.
This basketball I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, no, for that part, when you do stick with that, the stuff that doesn't do what you use it for,
In
so
person.
if you're only gonna use it,
Hello?
You just go out Wednesday. I
This is-
know, but like Wednesday's super.
yeah.
I know.
I think I would try to get mom.
You're good.
I don't want to be so weird, but it's like,
Observation.
You know
all
what I mean?
within that
Oh,
space.
Okay, thank you.
He was already in weird now. Like,
You say yes?
the kids at school, like, Walter's like, that
Let's
was
go.
weird.
Hey,
You know.
nuts, look at us.
So you
Me and you.
have
You think we're here?
No, there's some.
Yes.
I thought I was asking for
You.
You're like.
Beatles is so good.
I've had
You
you.
know, you're the 33.
I know.
That's their
Yeah.
A wheel.
Tic-tac, tic-tac,
Yeah, yeah.
It's pressure.
Have you seen Hopefully by Country?
Guys,
Remake?
too loud.
So good.
Everybody,
Stay by your areas.
how's it getting ready?
You put it back in my bed.
I'm serious.
I'm serious.
You put it back in my bag.
No reason.
Never use it again.
Alright,
No. You know that's not good.
I swear,
Never use it again.
I swear.
Where's it go?
It's right there in the shoe.
All right, here's one more. Maybe try a different method this time.
But I already
Master.
He didn't clean his bag, man.
Yeah,
That's my soul. Throw it in the wash.
You can. I think mine is washed.
What is that?
Definitely hard to something.
That's a bullshit.
Where's A1?
Yes. You been on shit?
Yeah.
Nate, are you in music?
Wait, we don't have to write
Yeah.
it. do we?
I got this class again. Calculus class.
Wait, who was in the cafeteria yesterday? Awesome.
Everybody? Yes.
Let everyone answer that.
I was in the lounge.
Who was not in the gym?
I
should
hate,
say?
I was in the gym, I hate it.
Who was not
I
in the
wait to be
I don't have
clean.
to-
Sleeping.
Yeah, now that we're in different places, like other
Were you in the gym yesterday?
I can't even enjoy lunch. I really, there's
Nate,
there's
you weren't in the gym yesterday.
No.
You did it, you said whatever you want.
We
Every
don't
day.
know.
They made you rate.
He doesn't eat, so he's like, he's
The gym, they, he let us say whatever we want.
We're in the gym again, right?
Barely anybody.
Nate was in
No, we're in the lounge room. I'm salty. Because I like going in the gym with all the
Besides, like, you
freshmen
can,
and then I
you
get
can sit
out.
wherever you want.
Like, hey,
I mean,
Yeah,
just
that's
gotta,
what
you just gotta take care of them first, so.
This
We
is
did
the
get-
reason I
we
said,
did
I
go
think
first,
it's
like,
closer to you. And then-
Do it.
Were you?
I don't know his name. It's the one
We need to
who
run
has
that extra days.
First use.
Yeah.
What? 0.001?
Zero PR.
So it'd be 0.999 that, for the confidence, yeah,
0.999?
yeah.
Anthony's the one
That's a
that-
1/10%, so
Oh.
Anthony, the kid that used to sprint. Oh.
How are we supposed to know this? I need to print out.
Are we doing this one?
Parkour. On the table.
try a different method, just make sure you can do it.
No, I'm doing the same method.
I'm gonna start using.
That'll mess me up.
This is like one of the only things.
I walked past.
Well, it really doesn't matter because I understand it every time
Yeah,
before I
I
test it.
saw
You know what I
those
mean?
fair
It's like-
outfits.
It's sort of.
Oh, and then it's like,
Number 8. Maybe he felt insecure.
That's the original, that's the you.
Maybe we made it. Maybe we made it pretty.
Then we got this.
He's usually too ugly. But, you know,
Good
I'm
one.
gonna stick with it. We're just gonna.
Can you actually do it?
What's the
No,
point?
but yeah, Priscilla's right.
And what are we
He
doing?
knows.
Five?
What's that?
I'm doing digital videos for
I
Bob.
saw.
For the N,
3 for 5.
waterproofing company claims that the medium level of oxygen in the water is, no, that's the claimed,
I can't do that.
So is that 4.62?
45 different locations.
Wait, who?
What's the N?
45?
Yeah.
And what
45, bro.
sea level?
Fuck that.
.999.
I think the,
What's the U then?
it's
Oh, don't worry, guys.
4.62.
Don't worry.
Whatever the claim is.
Don't worry.
Why'd you say how he never ate on 8 days?
I don't know. Let me read it.
It is 4.62.
That's gonna be 4.62.
And the other one's 5.
We're concerned for
Wait,
you.
just-
Claim is 5, so mu naught's 5, and
The mean's 5, right?
Well, the U is the claim.
mu naught is 5.
It's between 4.1 to 5.
The mean.
4.1 to 5?
Yeah. Well, which is less than
Because
5.
this is the U,
So-
you're thinking,
So this is within it.
like, that's the claim.
So yes,
What the?
Yeah, you have to keep, you can't reject it.
Nice.
I got it.
No, I got that like.
So is this right?
I got it all going just 1/6 or is it this bad?
Yeah, I saw this
It's
before.
weird. First grade.
So,
Why didn't you do that one too? Cool.
Really?
Is that
Mu
one? Is that
naught
one?
is 5,
Why?
X bar is 4.62.
Disability. I was just gonna say, you did that.
You used to tell me that you had a
I'm
disability.
confused on why the U is 5.
Because the U is the claim, and they said, they claimed that it's 5.
That's claims.
This is claim.
Put the middle ones on.
It was like
Did
two
you get-
copies and just in underneath it, it was just saying. 200 new ones.
I hated it.
It's a really rare condition. Actually.
That's what I'm going
Yeah, I feel like everything says
I'm not
in
lying.
Did you an iPhone 7, mate?
So then, okay, what would you put for the answer to that? Like, you don't have enough.
Why did you ask it?
You're gonna bring it back too.
Oh.
Dude, bring it.
No, these are hairy elbows.
Can't say that you know it's true, but.
You're so good.
So like,
I don't know, like, I think I just had that Criterion for Wilson.
like outside of it, then you.
I know, but like, it's like,
Okay, and how do you know like the
That was
other
AO
one?
stitches.
Sure.
it's meant to be around
If
that.
it lines up with.
You'll never know for sure. That's why you have to test this stuff out. You'll be right.
Oh my god.
You'll be right.
It's funny 'cause-
But once out of 1,000.
Were you?
Yes.
You're standing. You're like,
I like facial.
Yes, for me.
Short stature, facial symmetry. This
I don't wanna do it.
intrauterine growth.
Screw you guys.
And rectal.
You would.
No,
Done. No more notes for you.
Skype is too.
You would.
I-
You know what?